too. That's the great thing.
We better.
You want to switch? You want to
Well, welcome everybody to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And June, it was just 10 days ago that the city of Indianapolis and the state of Indiana and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway hosted over 325,000 people inside the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the 106th running of the Indy 500 presented by Gamebridge. And we are now 354 days away from the 107th running of the Indianapolis 500. Not that I'm counting, but I am. You know, one of the things I love so much about being the president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is for that one day a year, all eyes around the world are on the state of Indiana and the city of Indianapolis. And Mark Miles, Allison Melanchthon, Roger Penske, and myself take so much pride in being Hoosiers, and how much Hoosier hospitality is a real thing, but really how much the state of Indiana has to offer the world, not just the Indianapolis 500. And we try our very, very best, whether you're a race fan or not, to make sure that Hoosiers love the fact that the Indy 500 is here, and we use that as an opportunity to encourage people to come to Indiana, to work in Indiana, to live in Indiana, and to visit Indiana. It is one of the things that I think I'm most proud of in this job, is the fact that I get to wave that Indiana flag everywhere I go, and we're so proud of it. We are really excited today to be here with Elaine Beadle, the governor, and the lieutenant governor to make an announcement that will help us as we encourage people to find Indiana either as their home or their place to work, or certainly their place to visit. It is something that I think we take for granted when we live here. There's just so many great things to do here, and it's such a great place to live and raise a family. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to President and CEO of the Indiana Destination Development Corporation, Elaine Beadle, who I've known for an awful long time and so proud of the work that she's done throughout her career here in the state of Indiana, and certainly central Indiana. But this is an exciting day for all of us Hoosiers.
It is very much. Thank you, Doug, and thank you for hosting us in this magnificent Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We can't think of a better place to give this kind of important and excitement announcement, except for a place that is nothing but excitement for the month of May. So congratulations on a wonderful 106th. And thank you, Governor and Lieutenant Governor, for joining us today in this announcement. And as I mentioned, this is an exciting time for the state of Indiana, and I need to tell you right away, this is not a tagline. For all of you expecting to come and see a tagline, you're going to be disappointed. This is not a tagline. This is a very different kind of promotional campaign that we need everybody to be part of, and we think that this is the type of promotional campaign that will do that. Now, before I reveal the new messaging, let me provide a little bit of background. The Indiana Destination Development Corporation was created by the legislature in 2019 to basically replace the Indiana Office of Tourism Development, but with a much larger mission. Inviting guests and getting visitors here is still important. That's still a primary function of the Indiana Destination Development Corporation, but the expanded mission is to tell that quality of life and quality of place story to help retain some of the graduates that come out of our colleges and universities, to help businesses attract talent, and for all those people who could potentially live here, tell them why this is a good place to be. So that's the extended mission of the IDDC. It's kind of one of those things that we're promoting Indiana as a great place to live, to visit, to earn, and to learn. Now, to accomplish our new messaging, it really needed to have several requirements on it. First of all, it had to entice visitors to explore Indiana, because after all, it all starts with a visit, so that was number one. But it also had to speak to all of our target audiences, so the students, the potential job seekers, and all those visitors who could potentially live here. But thirdly, it had to be embraced by all entities within Indiana for us to be successful. So businesses, colleges and universities, municipalities, associations, and all others. It needed to be embraced, and our new messaging, therefore, needed to be adaptable. So it could complement anything that the other entities were already doing and not replace their own marketing or their own promotional message. So there are two parts to our new messaging. The first is the identifier that says you are part of Indiana. The very foundation in the rock is that identifier. The second part is a headline that will be paired with the identifier that really brings the excitement and the uniqueness to what we're providing here. So, without further ado, let me unveil the identifier. Drum roll, please. Simple but elegant. Simple but elegant. As you see, the state's abbreviation sits inside the arrow that creates that represents that state's forward motion. The state's outline is inside the word Indiana, creating that immediate geographical recognition and familiarity. The headline, which you should see on the screen there, brings the excitement that, as I mentioned, and it can be adapted for multiple purposes. So let me show you some examples of how this headline and the identifier can get paired together. More to discover, which is an invitation to our visitors. Life is better in Indiana, speaking to our quality of life and place and that Hoosier pride we all have. Build your future encourages our graduates to stay right here and find that first or second job. As you can see, the possibilities are endless. And I think we're going to unveil some things here. So look around and see some of the opportunities for headlines that we have in various places over there and behind us, as well as the screen. So now I'd like to share some very specific examples of partners and how they're using it. The first, it's already up, the Indiana Department of Natural Resources has so many great assets, for biking, hiking, camping, so you can see some of the ways that they'll use it. Explore the state parks in Indiana. Experience nature in Indiana. All of those types of things are inviting to guests as well as our own residents. Visit Indiana has been a great partner with us, and Chris Gall is here. Thank you for joining us today. But they'll use it as Indy in Indiana. Family fun in Indiana when they talk about the Children's Museum. And you're going to actually see one of their ads in the Indianapolis Monthly coming up probably in the month of July. So we appreciate that. And we want municipalities to use this as well. And Evansville, which is known for E is for everyone, they have used that monocle for 4 or 5 years, and they're pairing it nicely with in Indiana to be able to complement what they're already doing. And you don't have to be a large city. You can be the town of Knightstown. And we love that Knightstown is here, and visit Knightstown in Indiana, of course, home of Hoosier Gym, and their new slogan, Hoosiers Made Here, will fit nicely over in Indiana. So we appreciate that. Indiana State University, located in Terre Haute, our gateway to Indiana from the west, is definitely on board with their new identifier, pairing it with their current campaign, which calls for students to discover their advantage in Indiana. So we're pleased to have that. Hanover College, find your place on their beautiful campus on the Ohio River, where they call to students to pursue your passion in Indiana. And here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, they've already been telling people back home again. How many times did we hear that leading up to the 106? would perfectly fits over in Indiana. So we're pleased that that is a possibility. And every business can show their pride of being part of Indiana by indicating proud business owner or minority, woman-owned, veteran-owned business right here in Indiana. And of course, all of our tourism partners will continue to promote our great state and create their own personalized headline that can show off what they're trying to promote within their areas of the state. Now, you all may be saying, okay, how do we get engaged? What's the ticket price to get in? The ticket price is nothing. We have created toolkits. And the toolkits will include things like the logo, the font, the color palette, some templates that people can use at no cost. You go to our website, visitindiana.com, you'll see 4 different toolkits, a general one for municipalities, one for colleges and universities, and one for businesses that you can download and use and create your own headline, use some of the headlines that have already been there, whatever works for you. And so we're hoping that people will go there, and again, that's what I think the beauty of this is. The artwork's all done. All of that part's done. Nobody has to pay for that. We just ask you to download and use it, and we're excited for that, hopefully a lot of adaptation. We also are proud to announce that we have a new website that's being revamped, that has been revamped and is released and launched today. And that's where, again, you're going to find all of the toolkits available to you. So the goal of this new messaging campaign is to let everyone know what great assets we have in Indiana. We have been the best kept secret for way too long. So we invite everyone to join in to help create a really big megaphone that gets Indiana's quality of life and quality of place message well beyond our Hoosier boundaries. Yes, we invite you to get in Indiana. And if you do, you will be part of a movement that I am confident will benefit Indiana for years to come. So we are very excited about this, if you can't tell. And we're pleased to share this with you today. And connect with any of our IDD staff members if you have any questions on how to use the toolkits or which direction to go. But we hope you love it as much as we do. So now it is my pleasure to turn the microphone over to our Lieutenant Governor, Suzanne Crouch.
Thank you, Elaine. And as Lieutenant Governor, I oversee the Indiana Destination Development Corporation. And I just want to thank Elaine and her team for your leadership on this. I know it's been a long time in the making. And I think what is so inspiring to me is this is so simple, but it is so powerful. And it's a unifier. It's something that each and every one of us can use in our own way to tell the story of Indiana. I'm so thrilled and honored that we have some of our partners in the Indiana General Assembly here. We have Senator Kyle Walker from Indianapolis area. We have Senator Andy Zay from the Huntington area, and we have Representative Roray. So thank you all for being here as our partners. You know, tourism is such an important part of Indiana's economy, contributes $9.6 billion to our state's economy, employs 208,000 Hoosiers. And I am so proud that we have representatives from all different sectors here that have embraced this important and unifying identifier.
Yes, there you go.
We have Deborah Curtis, the president of Indiana State University, who is with us and has shared with me that she is already, the minute this is over, that's going on their tagline for Indiana State University. Thank you, Deborah. And Sarah Ward of Knightstown, Town Council President, is here. She's ready to unite her community with the In Indiana message. Thank you, Sarah, for that. And of course, Chris Gall from Visit Indy, who's going to share the state message along with the capital city message, which is just a double whammy for Indiana and Indianapolis. So thank you. But thank you all for being here and sharing in this very exciting event. To be able to start telling the authentic story of Indiana and sharing all that is good about Indiana. And I have the honor and privilege of introducing the biggest cheerleader for Indiana, who is really charged up about carrying this message forward. Please help us welcome Governor Eric Holcomb.
Thank you, Suzanne. You have been a powerful force behind this, not just initiative, but seen it into fruition and into reality. We've had a lot of discussions along the way, and with Secretary Beadle, we're here. Finally, we're here. This has been a long time in the making, but we wanted to make sure that we got it right. And I think this is something either nationally or maybe internationally unique, something different in such a positive way, and has real force behind the action of it all. Not just the identifier, but the actual action that goes along with it. And Doug, thank you again for rolling it out. It's good to be at the track in June. I'm still basking in the afterglow of the greatest spectacle in racing on planet Earth. We hosted here in this very pagoda 30 different nations at our Global Economic Summit. This was the capstone to it all. And of those 30 different nations, you can imagine we had 3,000 different conversations. And if I had a nickel for every time I heard, that's in Indiana, or you have that in Indiana, or how fast can I get to this in Indiana?
Right.
All these facts that maybe we even take for granted or haven't been in a while, all over the state of Indiana. This is a real way for us to show what's in Indiana. And as has been said, really pull us together. When you think about all the different man-made marvels in the state of Indiana, when you think about all the natural beauty that's on full display, you think about an Indiana sunset. This is like church is in session every time you look at an Indiana sunset, depending on where you are in the state of Indiana. And we're going to be able to not just capture that, but share that. You think about the 3 million visitors that go to the dunes, the national park, and having this interactive tool now to further expand that reach and proactively and aggressively and playing offense go out and connect with groups who are either here or thinking about coming here. And so this really does put us in a different place and on a different plane. You could say maybe the next level. And
You definitely could say the next level.
yes, and the thought that's gone into this and behind this, it's always been about how do we pull together one Indiana, harness that synergy, all of our individual stories that we share just naturally when we're with one another. How do we put that on a global stage? And when I think about the dunes, and I think about Attica's Badlands, when I think about the 24 state parks, when I think about where Senator Zay's from, I'm thinking about the breaded tenderloin at Nick's, by the way. But we can share that too. Or I see Patrick Tam here, and we've got Joseph DeQueese, we've got St. Emma's, we've got restaurants, diners all over the state of Indiana that pull people back again and again and again in Indiana. And all the lake living and all the golf courses and the sporting events. What other state hosts all of March Madness, a Super Bowl, an NBA All-Star game coming up, the greatest spectacle in racing every single year. You talk about a Super Bowl more than that, every single year. And it's not just in the month of May. This is a year-round special place. And so for us to have all these assets, we kind of said, shame on us if we're not really elevating all that we have. And we're just so proud to be able to share it. And it wears well. The folks that, were here for our Global Economic Summit walked away saying, we're coming back. So now we want to get people not just to come back, but we want to get them to stay and grow deep roots in the state of Indiana, bring that talent, not just through Indiana State University for a 4-year period, but forever. And contribute to our destiny. And we'll do that from Terre Haute through that gateway. We'll do that through folks who are coming to visit the Labyrinth in New Harmony. We'll do that through folks who are just naturally visiting the Cover Bridge Festival. Think about the hundreds of thousands of people that just go to our festivals. I mean, just the Strassenfest or the Freudenfest or the Blueberry Fest or how many festivals that we have that we're going to be able to capture and then connect with and stay connected with over a long period of time. And so this is absolutely an exciting, and this is not an overstatement to say this is an historic day because of this toolkit. It's interactive. It is pulling everyone together. It's putting everybody in the team, no matter if you're urban, rural, suburban. And your story, whether it's at talk about another spiritual place, the Hoosier Gym, whether it's in that gymnasium or the mountain bike trails of Brown County, where people are flocking to from all over the country, all over the world. That's a bucket list, box to check if you're into mountain biking. And we have it in our backyard. And so for me to watch all the work that's gone into this, I'm kind of behind the scenes. You guys were really making sure we got to this day to know the power that this has behind us and what it will end up achieving, unlike, I think, any other state. This is, once again, Indiana pioneering the way forward. And so we'll give you I'll turn it over to a quick video. This is an example of more to come. But right out of the gate, this is what, and maybe Elaine, when we take questions, you might elaborate, or Lieutenant Governor, on not just the interactive tool, but the television access that we're going to, and reach that we're going to have as well. Roll it.
In Indiana, big thrills are a state tradition. Here, get lost and take a hike are weekend plans. And welcome mats are a genuine invitation. In Indiana, our downtowns and our small towns have the same amount of heart, and the moments that mean the most to you just happen. There's more to discover in Indiana. Get in at visitindiana.com.
Oh, you're looking back at me. Well, we appreciate all of you being here today and being with us. And Matt Eckert, talk about 1 million visitors coming into Holiday World every season. We're pleased that that's back up and running, the biggest year last year. And having Allison Barber from the Fever Basketball here and Mario Rodriguez from our world-renowned #1 airport in the nation here. They're all board members for the IDDC as well, and we appreciate all the work that they've done for us. With that, I think we'll be able to close this out. I know the governor's going to be around for a short time for questions. The Lieutenant Governor and I will be here.
Will you pardon my interruption?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Just one more thing. Just seeing President Curtis here, our work is never going to be done. This gives us the tools to do important work, but seeing President Curtis here, I remember just a couple years ago, just to underscore the importance of our work ahead, on a trade mission in Berlin at an AmCham meeting in the basement. I see Jake Oakman in the back. You'll recall this very meeting, and I'm talking about why Indiana, promoting, being that cheerleader. And the then President Pro Tem and Speaker of the House were in this gathering as well. And we're talking about all that we have to offer, ISU and USI and Ball State and Purdue and Notre Dame, Indiana University. And someone leaned over to the speaker and said, "Purdue's in Indiana?" And then that conversation kind of died down, and I'm still doing my rah-rah, and he leaned back over and he said, "Notre Dame's in Indiana?" And they knew Indiana State was in Indiana. They knew Indiana University was in Indiana. But we have to tell our story constantly.
Right.
And everyone else is doing or trying to do the same thing, or they're going to be out of the conversation. And so, from the bottom of our hearts, to see Knightstown here, to see strong, rich heritage, everyone knows the Indy 500, Larry Bird, the movie Hoosiers. These are great ambassadors for our state, and now we're going to be able to employ thousands of more ambassadors. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, most importantly, for being part of getting all that's available in Indiana out to the world. Thank you.
So thank you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Secretary. Really appreciate you guys hosting this here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are super proud to be Hoosiers. This is not an Indianapolis asset. This is a state of Indiana asset. Congratulations on such a flexible identifier that so many of us can adopt. Back home again in Indiana certainly works. It's June right now, so is it May yet in Indiana works? In May, the greatest spectacle in racing in Indiana works. And my favorite one of all, this is May in Indiana, works really well. We can't wait to use it here. The governor's going to do a quick scrum, I think, over here, and then the secretary and the lieutenant governor would be available for one-on-ones afterwards. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.